What is up, everyone? Good morning or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. And we are back with another Stalker or Shadow Chaser related content. This time, we'll be talking about the Longbow Shadow Chaser, specifically for boss hunting or PvE stuff. So, as we know, we have received a significant update on one of our core skills, which is the RTA or Range Toxic Attack. Right now, it deals 100% more damage against bosses, MVPs, and minis. So that's basically times 2 damage as compared to before. So with that in mind, our goal is to cast RTA or Range Toxic Attack more or as often as we can. So there are two ways that you can do that. First is you can either drop your damage talisman, like this crit damage talisman that we have in here, and swap it out with a haste talisman so that you can spam your skills. The only downside of that is that you'll be losing a lot of damage and you'll be losing crit rate for you to be able to maintain your crits. So that's not good for Shadow Chasers actually for global, because it's very different in C, in which you can just go haste with your copy skills too. Another is that, we can just lower down the cooldowns of our double strafe and triangle shot by leveling or, by bringing down their levels to the minimum. So for example, I can bring down my triangle shot to level 3, I think. Yeah, level 3 is close to 0 VCD so that we can, spam it, as well as the same for a double strafe. We can just lower it down to level 3 as well. And then we need to copy a plagiarism precision shot from rangers so we can get additional damage for every time we cast our triangle shot. So those are basically the ingredients that we'll be using for this build right now. So we need to copy again a ranger skill, precision shot max, and we need to bring down the double strafe and triangle shot to level 3, both of them, so that we can just cast it continuously and get the dip stacks that we need. So we'll do a comparison in this video for the skills, like both level 10 versus both level 3, and see how they differ with the damage. So I won't be changing anything else, just the levels of those skills. So for reference, my shadow equipment engrave will be using the double strafe too, so that we can maintain the crit damage bonus by 20% every time we cast double strafe. So since we'll be continuously casting it, this will be like a permanent buff to us. So triangle shot will stay triangle shot too. And then for the contract skill, we'll be getting the range toxic attack that increases our RTA by 23% damage. So first, let's test the base build, which is the build that we had prior to the change. So let's change it all back to level 10. So there you go. And for this test, we'll be doing a 2-minute test with hide. Of course, we need a phantom raid for additional damage. The combo, this is the double strafe and a triangle shot in one slot. The RTA, the enchant poison. I will turn off everything else. So let's start. This is the base build. So as you can see, we are getting stacks, but it's not that fast, but we'll see about the final damage on the 2-minute mark. Okay, so on the 2-minute mark, we do have about 126 million DPS for Deviling, and that's for the base or, the control build, like the first build that we had with the double strafe and triangle shot, both on level 10. So that was our control test in which the core skills, the double strafe and a triangle shot, are both in level 10 with the max damage. Right now, we'll be testing how about if we, lower the levels down to level 3 so that we can get like 1 VCD for each skill. So with this, we'll be able to, stack dip more and cast RTA as often as we could. So nothing has changed. Still the same skills. By the way, I'm using Deviling as a test because I do have the enchant set for Deviling right now. So Demon, Medium, and a Shadow. So let's try it. Okay, so right off the bat, we can see that the stacks are filling up fast because we were just spamming a double strafe and RTAs as you can see here on the skill bar. So let's just wait for the 2 minute mark and see how it compares to the previous testing and see if we get any significant increase in our damage. Okay, so we did have about 136 or 137 million in DPS. It's, considerably larger than what we had back then on our first testing. So there is really an increase in DPS when we do like lower the cooldowns on double strafe and RTA. I mean double strafe and triangle shot so that we can spam RTA more. So that's a trick to consider when you're boss hunting. So there's no need to replace your crit talisman with a haste talisman because the damage lost from letting go of your crit damage and your crit rate will greatly affect your RTAs. You see, your RTAs need the C damage and the C rate for it to be, consistently powerful. Yeah, I know that we are still not, I don't think we will be up to par in PvE for, this game as compared to like the Guillotine Crosses or Rangers. They're the kings of PvE as well as the Bong Priest, but this will help a little for our PvE and boss hunting needs. So you can use it I mean, if you want, if you're having trouble like boss hunting and struggling with dealing more damage, this is a helpful trick that you can use. So yeah, that's about it for the video. Again, shout out to Son of a Beach. Thank you for bringing up this idea so that we were able to test it, and hopefully this will help our fellow stalkers and shadow chasers too. So yeah, take care guys and see you in the next video.
To the top of every room. Hey, hey. Shadow chasers.